reading out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
1 second left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark.
Hey, how are you? It is the Hump Day edition of the program. Hope you're okay wherever you might be. Welcome to BDST here on YouTube, episode number 203. Hit us up in McClellan Chiropractic chat room and on the Professional Door text line. We got a lot of cool things to talk about Professional Door today. Welcome. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Freddie. How are you? Glad to have everybody with us. Good morning. Player? Please subscribe, like, and share to the program. Coming up, Keon Brown will join us. We're going to talk some hoops. That'll be at 6:30. And Damian Sordelet is back. We'll talk to him at 7-ish. And then Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator at UAB. Sorry, I was a little parched this morning. Morning, Stacy. How are you? Everyone, please subscribe. Good morning. That's right. Big Al, happy birthday. It is Big Al's birthday. Galax's best. Happy birthday, Al. Hope you have a great day, man. Always enjoy our conversations. Always. Cool stuff. So today, by the way, today begins 40 years. 40 years for Professional Door Incorporated. And, of course, Travis Williams is terrific dude. I've gotten to know over the last several months as they've supported the program. And one of the many benefits is getting to know him. We've had some great conversations. Today, the sponsor of our text line, Professional Door, begins year number 40. That's right, number 40, which is just amazing what his dad had built. 40 years. Yeah. There you go. And it's cool. It's cool. But in any event, to celebrate 40 years throughout the month of July. So pay attention if you have a garage door, residential, commercial, whatever it might be. Call Professional Door this month. Okay? Call this month, 540-674, very easy number, 0008. Big Al, I know you know about the Williams family. And you can set up preventative maintenance on your garage door. If you just mentioned you heard us talking about it here on BDST, you get a $40 discount immediately. And that will take off quite a bit. And I have a lot of folks that I know that have a problem with their garage doors. Now, you don't have to have it all done by July, but you just have to schedule it by July, and then they'll get to you and take it. So in other words, it can carry over into August. It can carry over into September. But it has to be set up during the month of July. And just mention the program, and you get $40 off immediately. That's incredible. To celebrate 40 years, $40 off. Awesome. So again, 674-0008, and we'll be hitting that very, very, very hard this month. And it's a great offer that, given the cost of things left and right, you got an easy $40 off to come get maintenance before something goes wrong seriously with your garage doors. All right. So reach out to Professional Door, to Travis, 674-0008. And mention the program, and boom, no questions asked. All right, $40 off. We're going to come out there. We'll get to it, and we'll rock and roll. So thank you, Travis, and go support Professional Door. Also want to thank the NRB Super Bowl. We'll be having our bash there July the 18th as we start the month of July today. 382-5525. Midnight Madness will begin. They're going to have all sorts of cool 4th of July stuff going on. It just had a great backpack program to help out the kids this past Saturday in the NRV. Very community minded, and we're looking forward to having our bash over there at the Super Bowl. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputations, long list of satisfied clients, test of superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, clear communication, thanks to the Smith Brothers, 5-star ratings. Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. See how a series of text messages can help you, your organization, your group earn money quickly. National Bank, member FDIC, my exclusive banking partner, the show's exclusive banking partner. Talked about how easy they made my refinancing. Got into a situation, inherited a situation I didn't really know much about. And I'm like, uh-oh. And now they made it very easy to go through and make it all into one lump thing. BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trusts and Estate Planning. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street. Speaking of getting maintenance this time of year, get maintenance on your air units because it's going to be very hot over the next 4 days here. Starting, I guess yesterday it was hot, but today it starts to get in the 90s. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. We'll try to get Jonathan Sweet on tomorrow. They just won an award, man. Told you about the jet skiing event. The Sportsplex is going to be open in October. All sorts of things happening at the racetrack. Awesome stuff, man. Family Fencing is a sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green. Speaking of warm weather, man, give them a call now and get things set up and ready to go. And Mark Hunley, as I mentioned, McClellan Chiropractic. He's the best chiropractor in the biz. If your body's crooked, not feeling good, if you wake up like a question mark and you want to become an exclamation point, go see Mark. Go see Mark. So happy birthday to Big Al. Oh, that's cool, Freddie. Tell him we said happy birthday. You got a friend tomorrow. The first video I ever watched, oh, my Lord, I have no idea. It was probably some clip years ago. I don't know. I am the goat of football. I am. What's up, Jay? What's up, everybody? All the new folks, please subscribe. Unless you're bots, and then don't subscribe. What's up, Merrill? So this was a good article. I want to share this with you here. This was, I don't usually just sit here and read things, but I thought this was very good. Jorge Posada came out, the former captain, legendary catcher for the Yankees during the 90s, and one of the core four, if you will. And he really criticized today's game. He said he can't watch today's baseball. And he kind of went off. He said today's baseball is garbage. The analytics crowd and things like that have gotten to the point to where the game is no longer appreciated. Good morning, Jeff. How are you? Good morning. He said it's not just old school, right? And there was another article that came out by a Cincinnati writer. Let me get the name right here. Well, it was just called Ohio Divided is the name of the account. He said modern baseball has a serious problem. And it's not just old heads yelling. This is not about nostalgia or wanting baseball to be like it was 25 years ago. It's about the product becoming harder to watch. The game has become too robotic, too formula-based, too accepting of strikeouts, too obsessed with home runs, too willing to live with a guy hitting 200 as long as he runs into 30 balls a year. Somewhere along the way, baseball decided contact did not matter, moving runners did not matter, putting pressure on the defense did not matter, two-strike approach doesn't matter, base running doesn't matter, situational hitting doesn't matter. Everything became launch angle, exit velocity. We've talked about that. Walks, strikeouts, and home runs. And then he says, look, I guess I understand why it kind of happened. Pitching's been better than it ever has been. Bullpens are loaded with arms thrown in the high 90s, low hundreds. It's harder to string together 3 or 4 hits in an inning, so hitters adjusted. But they want to do damage when they finally see one pitch. That's why he feels like home runs have taken precedent. Runs per game have stayed the same basically since 2016. They have the graphic up that show you that. But baseball is very difficult to watch. Where did the athletic ability go? Where did the clutch hitting late games go? How about starting pitchers going deep into games? We've talked about that a lot. Why does no one run the bases anymore? No base stealing. There's no Vince Coleman's or Lou Brocks or Ricky Henderson's anymore. How come nobody can bunt? But the game has lost its balance. There used to be different ways to beat you. A team could mash, a team could run, a team could pressure you, a team could win 3-2 games because their starter kept you in the game. But the game is not like that anymore. And now the worst part is that this has trickled down to the youth level. Kids are not being taught to become complete baseball players. They're being trained to hit home runs. The focus on exit velocity, launch angle, travel ball, all plays into this new age of baseball we are seeing today. Everybody wants the exit velo clip. So there's a lot of good stuff here that makes a lot of sense. But the game has become more optimized, more calculated, more powerful, and somehow less fun. Baseball needs to find its soul again. It has a crisis. Everybody who actually loves the game can see it. Those who continue to ignore it are just benefiting financially. What's going on, Harini? How are you? What's going on, Pamucci? We are in the glorious United States of America, about to celebrate our 250th birthday. So I agree with everything there with what they just said. Please subscribe to the channel, everyone. So Major League Baseball's got management problems. They've clearly got an issue up top with their commissioner. We're about to have a massive work stoppage. I think next year it's going to cost, if not the entire season, the bulk of the season because of the salary cap and the floor. The game is getting away from its core. And it's not a response that you would expect them to have, considering they've lost their position long ago as the national pastime of this country. What's going on, Aria? Hello. Cy Plus. Hello, sir. Please subscribe. Yeah, exactly, Prometheus. I miss small ball too. I do. I just miss the thought process. You know, the scientific part of baseball used to be so interesting. I do miss, I'm a pitching guy. I want to see, and I'm not talking about these bullpens that are absolutely loaded with these back end arms. That's great. But the specialization of a game, I mean, you're rarely going to see a starting pitcher go, unless his name's Paul Skeens. You're not going to see a starting pitcher go more than 5 innings. Maybe 6. And then you start getting into specialists, boom, 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 boom. And when did that happen? Like, when did it have to be a certain guy in a certain situation every time? So baseball has taken every step away from what made it at one time this country's heart and soul from a sports side of things. Baseball got this country through the Depression, got them through world wars. I mean, baseball was where the biggest stars were. It was everywhere. Jetty says Cubs are lucky if a pitcher goes 4 innings. Yeah. What's going on, Head Between? How are you? I don't know. Maybe so, Thunder. I don't know. You see those reports about attendance. I know that wasn't the case a few years ago. The cost of going to games for a family of 4 is like $300. Just if you get food and, you know, concessions and things like that with your ticket. So I don't know. I think it depends on the market. New York, Boston, the cities that's had success that support it. I mean, you look around. If it's an event, it's going to happen. What's up, Harves? How are you? Good to see you. So I don't know. It's a good question. It's a very good question. I'm going to look that up right now. Let's see where we are. Baseball attendance in 2020. Well, let's see here. It's hard to say, man. They've got the averages up, but yeah, it would be a good. Oh, here you go. So baseball is currently tracking a little ahead of last year. The Dodgers obviously lead the sport. They get almost sellouts every game because, well, they're the richest team. Padres have turned their ballpark in Petco a major event. So you have the Dodgers, the Padres, Yankees, Blue Jays, Phillies, Giants, Mets, Los Angeles Angels, Braves, and Red Sox. That's your top 10 team. So I don't know. I guess it's up to the consumer, but I do know that when you watch a game, it's not nearly the same as, and not just what you grew up with, because I know it's easy to, people want to say things about the past. Immediately people try to say, well, you're just old. Get off my lawn. But do you honestly watch a game of Major League Baseball today and think it's better? I mean, are home runs really that attractive? I know the television ratings aren't good. If it were, they would show up nationally, but they don't. We don't have a national game anymore. We get a regional game on Fox or FS1. ESPN doesn't have their contract with baseball. I don't know how many games they show now as part of the new deal. It's very few. They have these regionalized broadcasts, and they've had controversy trying to supply the broadcasts. I don't know. I thought it was a good article, and Posada came out. It's gotten a lot of play. And I think we can look at a lot of that in all sports. The NBA product isn't good. I don't think the NFL product is good. The NHL product's really good. Hockey's a really good product, but not enough people care about it because you don't grow up with ice skates for the most part. And I don't know what's led to all that. I thought the college football product was good. We talked about that. We had all this controversy last year. The first time that we had the money really take over rosters. And then you're sitting there on a Saturday, and I said this a lot during the season, you're going, this is a really good game. Wow. And that's what the portal has done to rosters, right? That's what the portal has done. So to me, it makes no sense, but your eyes don't lie to you. You can watch these other sports. And in the NFL, it's the flags, it's the inconsistency of officiating, it's horrible quarterback play, it's whatever it might be. NBA, load management, Prometheus mentioned that, which is true. Yeah, Pindu, I'm more of a messy guy. Yep. I am. The college football was a good product, and the ratings show it. Ratings were way, way, way up. And I mean way up. And they're going to continue to be up. So that's good. That's good. But baseball, there's an acceptance of, like, for instance, the mindset, the mentality going into it. I mean, NBA every day now, there's going through all these trades and free agent things. And I just look at it like, I don't care. He's not going to sign for his max contract of $70 million. He's going to opt out. Then he comes back and signs with the team for some other situation. T-Bird says the solution is obvious. The solution is obvious. Baseball needs more money. That's right. That takes care of it. That just takes care of it. Well, they're going to lose a lot of money next year, I think. We'll see if people actually show up at the ballpark. Joining us now on the program is that gentleman. What's going on? Keon Brown. How you doing, brother?
Rick Watson. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Hanging in there. We're just talking about baseball, modern sports, and how the games are played. You're still a young man. You're not coming from a generation too far ago. How have you noticed games that have evolved? Basketball, baseball, football, since when you were younger, watching and participating and so forth.
Well, I can't speak too much about baseball. It was a point where I tried to get into it. And, when I was calling the games with Longwolf for the voice of the Flying Squirrels, Trey Wilson, I always said, I'm coming to a Flying Squirrels game. I'm coming, man. He said, whenever you want to come, send me a text. I'll leave you some tickets. It's been 3 years, but I'm going to text him one day. I promise.
One day.
So I can't speak for baseball, but on the basketball side, the kids seem like social media and electronics and whatever the case may be is the most important thing to them. Like, you got kids now at halftime of games checking their stats, checking what people are saying about them. It's like, that's just the day and age where we are now. When I was playing as a team, you had a team shoe and you had to choose from one of two options, maybe three. Now guys are wearing all different colors. That's different from the jersey. I hate that. It's just stuff like that. It's little things, but like you said a few minutes ago, now it's I'm an old man, get off my lawn. But I guess we just have to change it with the times at the end of the day. A lot has changed, though. And you see it every day. You've been the voice of the Highlanders for 3 decades. So you've seen generations come and go. And I think I was that last generation of the old school. I was right in that transition phase.
Yeah,
so
you were.
I'm glad I got to see a little bit of both sides.
And I'm not objected, I don't sit there and object to change. I understand things are going to evolve. They always have in sports and in life and in society. Okay. Yeah. But you do wonder when you watch some of this stuff. I mean, the acceptance of not when they want more money and when more money becomes such an issue, yet in the NBA, for instance, they're eagerly saying, okay, good. I don't have to play but 65 games. I can still win the MVP.
Yep.
Let's go. And I just don't think there's no self-awareness to see how it affects the fan, the paying customer, right?
Yeah, I can see that as well. It's like, I know I have to reach this threshold, and then I can sit out for the remainder of the games and pretty much have my own schedule. And that's what you're going to see guys do. But on the flip side, it waters down the league because so many guys a season ago who played less than 65 games were some of the biggest names in the sport. So then when you see those all NBA teams, you're like, what is this guy doing on here? Right? So now they're going to go back and change it because it's just not a good look. But in that college realm, you said it. It's also all about money. How much money can I get? What's my duffel bag look like versus the Nike team issue duffel bag? I want the Gucci. I want the Louis V. I want to walk in with style. That's where we are now. I mean, it's just – I called the game last year, went into a locker room, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Was I jealous? Absolutely. But at the same time, you got to appreciate the times as well. And these guys, and some of them deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, it's where we are. And I just said it too. I thought college football last year was good. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah. And that's all I want as a fan. I just want the product to be good. It's not good. It's not good in the NFL right now. It's just not. The quarterback plays terrible. The officiating is the worst I've ever seen it. Guys don't want to tackle. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm hoping that improves the NFL part because that's my all-time favorite league, but I don't know.
But at the same time, you can tell that as the generations are progressing, so is the talent on the field. So the guys that we see in the NFL are a part of this youth movement. So it's going to look different, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
it does.
I'm an entitled teenager. I'm going to grow up to be an entitled adult.
That's right.
That's what I mean by that. And
that's right.
Yeah.
How much do you see that now as a teacher? Right. Let's go back. How long you been teaching? 10 years?
Close to a decade. Yeah.
So we'll just go back to that. You've seen kids come through, young people, and as they mature, and you've dealt with all age groups. What have you noticed? I mean, what do you see? And that's only a 10-year span, but I'm sure you've noticed a lot of different changes.
Yeah. So, my first third of my teaching career, I was elementary school. So you really don't see much there. But the last 4 years I've been high school, and you can see the change in the kids. There's still entitlement. They're still thinking of, I know they're complaining about school lunch, but I'm like, dude, a lot of these kids come from situations where this is all they have to eat. And that's why you see so many school systems say, all right, school's out. You come here, we'll give you some free food, even though you're not in school. So there are some students who look down on other people. You do see that. And it's unfortunate because those kids are going to grow up to be parents, and all they're going to do is trickle that down to their kids, and it's going to continue to get worse. So I'm not opposed to a little Joe Jackson action, if you know what I'm talking about, kids, but I don't know if I can say that in 2020.
No, I think most people would agree. Yeah, they would go, yeah, I understand what he's saying. Prometheus says it's me before team. I guess there's always been an element of that, but it does seem that, and I think you hit it on the head. It seems not all, but most of it seems to be driven by social media.
Yeah.
Right. This whole new era of it's crazy.
Yeah, social media runs the world now, and you do it for clicks, you do it for likes, and kids don't understand that social media is just a personal highlight reel. It highlights the glory of what you're going through. Nobody posts the bad stuff.
That's right.
And if you do post the bad stuff, it's fake, because why would I post myself crying?
That's right. It's not real.
How do you do that? How do you post yourself crying? Literally. Like, I'm going to set the phone up here, then I'm going to cry, then I'm going to press send and put a caption on.
Let's post my meltdown. Here you go. Feel for me. Feel sorry for me. Yeah.
Of course, there's some exceptions, but at the same time, come on now. Some stuff should remain private.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. You're right. So what do you think? What do you think the next era is going to look like? Do you think there's going to be like another ebb and flow? Will there be self-awareness in these leagues? The NBA's got a big crisis, and one of the gambling story came down on Monday, right? I mean, this is continuing to be – I don't see it reported. I don't know why. Just kind of – so what do you think is going to happen?
I think that was because it was Malik Beasley, and that was one of the initial guys. So I think they're like, all right, now he's indicted on it. Now he is official now, even though that was a couple of years ago. And now it's just like, all right, here's the update on that. If it was a new name, I think they'd be talking about it more. But since it's the original guy, what it all started with, is updating you pretty much. That's what I get from it.
You think he's going to sing? You think he's going to like?
I would.
Yeah.
I'd be singing Stevie Wonder. I know I would.
I would.
If I'm going down, everybody's going down.
Yeah, and it might make my landing a little less painful.
Yep, there we go. We're cutting a deal.
Yeah.
I'll sit in jail for a year, and I'll give you every name that I know.
Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
That's me, though.
Oh, no. Hey, by the way, everybody wishing you a happy birthday. Yes, I
will. Oh, yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. Keon is one of those old men on the porch. He wants things to be like they used to be.
I do. I wish they could be. I wish they could be.
Hey, you're an old head. You can be called an old head.
I'm like right in the middle. I'm in the middle. I was born
at medium head.
I really was. I was born at the perfect time. I remember the 90s when there was no internet, when you had to go outside and hope that your friend was outside, or you had to see your friend and make plans for the next day in advance. I wish all of that stuff was the same. Kids don't go outside anymore. The basketball courts are empty now in the summertime. We used to be out there at 105-degree heat. We freeze a bottle of water the night before, take it with us the next day, and in an hour is boiling pretty much because of how hot it is. I mean, it's changed. It's not the same anymore. Basketball, and this is another topic, is turning into a rich man sport. All of these kids that are playing basketball, from the Ron Harper sons to the Carlos Boozer sons, those are the guys that's starting to be the best players in the NBA or coming up as the best players in the NBA, getting the early draft picks. And it's not what it used to be anymore, where you grow up in the hood, you play your day in and day out to try to get your family out into a better situation. Now you got the guys who wake up to 7-car garages running the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just changed.
How much do you think, and it's there, this entitlement feeling? I mean, I don't know a lot of the new athletes I've seen come in for summer workouts, but you can hear the conversations and you're just like, wow, you're just like, wow, it's great. And, my own kids, it's a different generation. I know when I grew up, I never felt like that I had any right to say anything. If my dad said something about, you're going to have to do this to get this, or when it's time for you to get out of the house, if you're going to go to college, get a job.
Yeah.
You need, and okay, I understand. You took care of me. It's time to get out there. It was tough love, but boy, I wouldn't change anything. Now you don't feel like you can exercise that at all, even as a coach, right? You can't do that anymore.
Now at the same time, they can talk what they're talking, but is it going to result to winning? Probably not. I'm just keeping it real. You talk like that, you're going to probably be a loser if you're thinking about, what a program can do for you financially. Maybe when it's not important to these kids now. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly is. You can get money and still be motivated by winning. I mean, you still could. And that's a thing that I think that Flynn Clayman and High Point did a really good job of. We know how much money those guys had going around, but the main focus was still winning at the end of the day. People can think what they want about him, but that program won, even though they have one of the highest budgets. They have one of the highest budgets again this year. They have a low major budget or a high major program, but one of the bottom tier teams' budget, and they're going to win again. They're going to go undefeated because they're going to keep the main thing. We're going to pay you, but we're going to hold you accountable to your end of the bargain. We're going to win. So there's plenty of programs that have some money, even though it's not a lot, and their guys are going to come in, and that's all they're going to talk about after practice. Jay-Z said it best. No 2 days are alike except the 1st and 15th, pretty much. And that's how these guys think. They can't wait for that 1st and 15th.
Great point. That's a great point. And Flynn, actually, Coach Flynn, he actually said that in one of our interviews, how these guys they kind of brought themselves together early before the season started. And they knew they were all making money, but they wanted to be a championship team. And they didn't accept, they kind of held themselves accountable. And he said, as a coach, you kind of have to do that a little bit more than ever. You always like to see that, but now it was good to see. And he said those guys would get themselves together.
Yes.
And talk when he goes, that's the greatest thing to see as a coach.
Right.
It's rare, like you said, in this day and age with the money.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason I brought it up, because, covering the Big South, you got to talk to Coach Flynn Cayman and even watched them in the tournament, beating Wisconsin, and it went down to the wire to Arkansas. One thing that you can't say about High Point is that they don't play hard.
No, you don't. Yeah, exactly. They do all the time. They do all the time.
Do.
Yep.
Like they play extremely hard, and that's why they were in every single game. They could have beat Arkansas. They could have made it to the second weekend, and now they pursue that this year with a really good roster and a team that I think is going to go undefeated in Big South play.
Yeah, they very well could. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm hearing great things about PC too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised at that.
I mean,
but the way that High Point reload is just going to be tough for every team in the Big South.
I know.
It just is.
It's a $7 million roster.
Yeah.
In the Big South.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Ow.
And I noticed they keep adding all of these 8-10 teams to their schedule. You're going to see how they can compete there. We're going to see like this time next year. We'll be in the summer. We'll see if they've made a move out of conference or what. You got to win a bit more than High Point has. Even though they've won plenty of regular seasons in the past, now we're in a situation where they're starting to win a few tournaments. Since you're starting to win a few tournaments, you win 3 in a row. Now you're looking at a situation where you probably can move.
I look for them to make an announcement soon that they're going to re-add softball. You watch.
Okay.
And if that happens, that means they've had conversations with the A-10 to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when every sport except basketball is in the Atlantic 10, that's an easy transition for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Atlantic 10 isn't the same anymore either. There's some good teams at the top, and as far as basketball, VCU's always going to be the top dog. They just are. George Mason and Tony Skinn and what he's doing there is unbelievable. Dayton and Anthony Grant is incredible. But when you think of those bottom tier teams, the LaSalle's, the Richmonds recently, High Point can compete with them for sure. That's a program that can definitely go to the A-10 and be a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot been going on in the league. I mean, I'll never understand the whole max contract thing. It just blows my brain up to try to think about guys saying, no, don't want that. Then you find out they re-sign, usually with the same team.
Yeah.
Signing trades. Your guy, LeBron, saying the Lakers, see ya, don't want to be anymore for his final year.
Man.
Is it going to be Golden State? Everybody seems like that's going to happen.
They seem like it's going to happen, but I'm not too sure on that, especially since the Wizards came out and said Anthony Davis ain't going nowhere. I still think it's going to be the Spurs. I mean, you go to the Spurs and you change life there, man. You go as a Magic Johnson role and just focus on being the point guard like you were on that roster in 2020 when you led the NBA in assists, and you're going to win a championship. You just are. It's just too many shooters around you. Wemby's down there. He is the missing piece for that team. I also can see him going back to Miami, back to Cleveland. Golden State's still there, but I think it's definitely one of those 4 teams that I just mentioned. If he wants to win a championship, he'll go to San Antonio and lead the ship. De'Aaron Fox is not the point guard that LeBron James is, even at this old age. So if you want to win a championship, San Antonio, you're going to move heaven and earth to try to get him. I really believe that if he goes to San Antonio, they win the next 2 championships. And I think they easily win the next 2 championships.
Prometheus says they don't have the cap room. What's the Spurs? Yeah, what is the
Well, it doesn't matter about the cap room if he's going to take the vet minimum.
Would he? I was going to ask you, would he do that? So you know what? I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, I think he's at that point.
I don't need the money. I don't need
he's
the
at
money.
That point now because not many teams have cap room. There's not many teams who have max cap space. The Orlando Magic do. The Lakers did, and you know, when they got Austin Reeves, and they still have enough money for one more guy. But who knows who they're going to get, because the Lakers are going after Jalen Duren and Walker Kessler, 2 really good players, but at the same time, they're restricted free agents. So while those guys can sign for 4 years, $200+ million, the Lakers can sign them for 1 year, $177. And then if they offer them that, the Lakers or another team, the team that holds their rights can say, we'll match it. You have to come back here and we're getting you for less money. So there's no guarantee that you're going to get one of those 2 guys. You see Rui Hachimura, who was huge for the Lakers in the playoffs, is looking like he's going to go somewhere else. You see a guy like Luke Kennard, who was a reason that you beat the Houston Rockets in the first round, just signed with Phoenix. So that Laker roster isn't looking too good right now. I don't think good things are coming to them in the future. They're going to be a play-in type team next year.
Did the Kawhi thing, is that going to matter at all? He's kind of been hurt a lot. I know he hasn't played a whole lot since he kind of peaked when they won their title there. What do you think about all the doing? Is that going to matter at all where he's playing, you think?
Well, he ain't getting no younger. He has the same birthday as me. So I think he just turned 35, 36 years old. And I don't think it's going to do too much unless you can surround him with a few more pieces. He and Scotty Barnes is going to be really good. Jacob Yerto is a really good big man, but I don't think it's going to be as smooth sailing as it was his first go round in 2019 when he won the championship in Toronto. He was a really good player last year. He was one of the best players in the league, but he's a guy who's 35 going on 45 because he can get injured in the snap of a finger. He's really good when he plays, but that's a big if. It's always inconsistent with a guy like Kawhi.
Is there any trade or movement do you think has made decent impact?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, this free agency class hasn't been the greatest. I mean, the best guy in free agency right now is LeBron James at 41 years old, so that should tell you everything you need to know. You can say it was Jalen Duren, but the way that he did not show up in the playoffs has changed that. Austin Reeves was the undrafted player who has recently been getting hurt a lot as well. So it's just not a really good class of free agents this year. And the guys who are free agents, as I mentioned, the Walker Kesslers and the Jalen Durans, are restricted. So if the team wants them back, all they have to do is say, I'm going to match you, and they have to go back to that team.
Yeah, you're right. It's not because it's LeBron, but whenever there's a 41, 42-year-old, you know, and that's the guy, you're like, that tells you something about the league right there, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, man. I mean,
speaking old school,
they're handing out money right now, and that guy's going to be he's the oldest player in NBA history. He's going to year 24. If that's your golden ticket, you know, free agent, like you said, it shows you where the league is right now.
It shows you where the league is right now. Yeah, absolutely. Well, We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's a tough time to be at Radford. It's a tough time to be in a mid-major. It's a tough time all the way around. Do you think a lot of these Power Fours are being dishonest? I kind of look at their actions as opposed to all these money things that they continue to say, but yet they continue to do business. They're going to go out. They're going to be record salaries for football teams coming up. Do you think a lot of that is just smoke, or do you think there's legitimately this major money problem throughout?
Oh, well, it's for sure a major money problem. But if you are a team that has a certain type of alumni, think where's that Jerry Jones went to? Was it
Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Those guys got deep oil money, right? So resources for them are going to come easily versus other programs like Wake Forest and the ACC. Wake Forest has one of the lowest budgets in high major basketball. So those guys are not going to be really good next year. It's the more money you have, the better you can get, the better players you can get, and the better your roster will be overall. So it's all about resources. And that's, like you said, these guys are being disingenuous for sure. Nobody truly knows these budgets, but they're huge. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's laughable when I see all these accounts on X try to say, here's who spent what in 2000. Yeah. They have no idea.
They have no idea.
Nobody has to release any information.
Exactly. You have no idea.
It's lies. It's all lies.
Yeah.
It's all lies.
No way.
Well, we used to say, what did you do for your birthday, by the way?
So we went to the Hampton Jazz Festival over the weekend. There was some good names there. We saw Jagged Edge, Drew Hill, 702. Kirk Franklin was there. Charlie Wilson was there over the weekend. The Isley brothers called off. So it was a good lineup. So we just went down there. We were going to go to the beach, but we get down there and it rains all weekend.
Yeah.
Then on Monday, I get my gifts from my wife. She got me a lot of shoes. That's my thing for my birthday. Yeah.
Did you get it? Is it LeBron shoes or is it?
No, I didn't. I got some Penny Hardaways, some foam posits. There's a rapper named Wale. He has a Nike collaboration shoe. I got some of those, and I got some everyday shoes, Nike Vomeros. Needed all of those.
You need them all, yeah. How many pair of shoes do you have?
Oh gosh, it's too many to count. Literally too many to count. I literally forget about some shoes that I have. I have to go in the closet, pull them all out, which takes 40 minutes, then look in the boxes and then rearrange them based on the season, pretty much. That's really what I do.
Wayne just sent me this. What do you think about this? Really? That can't be real, right?
Oh gosh. Oh man. Yeah, of course that's not
I don't know what Legion Hoops is.
But, oh no, that's not real at all.
Yeah, that can't be real, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That can't be real. Ooh, can you imagine finishing up? No, he's not going to do it.
It'd be good for me though. He'd be right down the road.
Yeah, I was going to say you could just you might come to your house and hang out in the LeBron
there
room.
We go.
You know?
Yeah, man. He definitely ain't coming to Washington. I tell you that.
Prometheus asks, "How does High Point get that much money? Easy. They're a private institution.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they have ways of raising money that state schools just simply cannot.
Yeah,
especially the same size, and they have a president who is a multi-millionaire.
Yep.
Who contributes to his own situation. You know, he's the one that's leading. He said, "Look, I'll personally pay for this whole thing if we want to go out." I've talked to some 8-10 people. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. They have support. They do have support, but they are a private institution. They don't have to tell anybody what they're doing.
Yep. That's how they're getting it done. That's how they've gotten it done the last 2 years.
Is today the last day of school?
Tomorrow's the last day of summer school.
Tomorrow. I knew it'd be closed.
Scratching and crawling. Man, this is there. You can see it. You could taste it.
So what do you do now? What are you doing today next to last day?
So now, so summer school is a bit different. So it's a base school and they house certain schools in the area. So if you go to elementary school A, you're going to host. Elementary school B, C, and D is going to come over. So you get split the kids.
Oh, okay.
Each school's teacher sets up a box for those students and they send it over with them. And then you have to distribute their goals or whatever, because I can deal with kids with IEPs. So you have to distribute their goals and then work on that. And then at the end of the year, pack the box up and send it back. So today is going to be pack the box up day tomorrow's going to be put on a Disney movie. Right? That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It was only 4 hours. So they eat breakfast for the first 30 minutes. The bus comes late here and there. So 9 o'clock, I'll put the movie on. The movie will be off. It'll be 11:30 to leave at 12. That's my plan tomorrow.
Everybody have a great summer. We'll see you in the fall.
There you go.
What
There
movie?
you go.
What movie is it going to be?
I don't know. It's got to be something Disney. So I might do Inside Out. It's elementary school. It's kindergarten.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to do something childish.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. but you'll secretly watch and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. And I'll be having that clock right in front of my face for 12 o'clock to hit. I'll be out of there.
Hey, I finally watched the Michael movie.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It was good. It was good. I went, and I knew going into it was going to stop, during his career.
Yeah,
but I tell you one thing, man. Is his nephew, whoever that kid?
Exactly.
He was incredible.
He was incredible. And the thing is, that was him singing.
I know.
Like it's crazy.
And dancing.
Yes, that was his first acting role. Like, come on.
And the dude who played Joe.
Domingo. Oh my goodness.
I thought it was Joe.
Yeah. The mannerisms, the cadence, and how he talked. Some people just have that natural gift of acting, and it's him.
And he looked like you, his expressions, and because I've seen a lot of that interview, but it was good. It was good.
He did a good job. Neil Long did a good job as his mother too. Didn't have too many scenes in there.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, exactly. But it was all about Michael, the character, and it was good. It was good. It was good. So I will recommend it to people. If you think you know Michael's story, you're going to see a lot you know.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. Now he's the most famous person to ever walk the planet, in my opinion.
Well,
I just think so.
It's hard to argue against that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Especially even toward the end when he would show up anywhere, any country,
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm glad I got to see some of it.
Yeah. No, it's good. Anybody who hasn't seen it, it's good. I finally watched it streaming the other day. I was like, okay, Keon's right. This is good.
Yeah. Now imagine that in the movie theater.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I missed
what
out
I mean.
Yeah. And I think they're going to do a sequel.
At the end, we had the Bad concert.
Yeah, the Bad ends
with theater. It felt like you were at a concert.
That you were at the show. Yeah, it ended with Bad. That's how it ended during that era. But it's good. It's good. People should see it. Well, all right, my friend. Great stuff as always.
Yeah, man.
Give my best to your lovely wife and all your.
I got you.
And enjoy your next to last day in summer school.
I will. The only thing I'm mad about is Friday. Everybody's observing 4th of July on Friday, so my daughter's daycare is closed. So on my official first day of summer, I'm stuck with her.
Daddy, let's play in the LeBron room.
There we are. That's it. And magically, every time I'm here with her, she wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. Magically, every time.
Absolutely.
It never fails.
Absolutely. That's good, though. She's on schedule, though. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not mad at her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess mine starts Monday.
That's true. You're real one.
I get a month off, so I'll take it.
Well, again, happy birthday, my friend. Happy
Appreciate
birthday.
You, sir.
Yes, all right, man. Good stuff, man. Enjoy. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
you,
brother.
Man. Be good. You too. There you go. Keon Brown, great stuff from him. Thanks for all the happy birthday wishes for KB. He's awesome. Awesome human being. Damian Sorlett joins us coming up. Tebow says his top 5 NFL defenses, the Rams, Texans, Broncos. I hope, man. Philly, Philly's going to be good. Seattle, that's not a bad list. It's a good list. Yusha, what's up? Oklahoma winning the chip. Oklahoma Sooners winning the chip. You think? Oklahoma. Show them fast times at Ridgemont High, Wade says. Yeah, you probably get in trouble for that. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Good stuff. What's up, Morse? How are you? From January 1st to July 1st, please explain to me how we got here talking about Hokies football chances being reversed. Are you with me and praying this doesn't really mean we are cursed? Morris has been the chief organizer of our bash on the 18th, by the way. Appreciate him. we will have official record prediction in August as we get a little closer. And it's not really necessarily even all about Tech. It's about trying to see some of these other teams and hearing some reports, right? And you don't know. People speculate. People have no idea. That's why these preseason magazines are going to start taking on even less relevance, right? Because there's no way you can sit there. You might be able to put names down. Well, this player transferred from so-and-so. This is what he did last year. I don't know, man. There's just so much we don't know. You don't know how the big melting pot of ingredients is going to come together. Prometheus says, Jordan goes to the Wizards, the worst team in the NBA, while LeBron is shopping for the best teams. Go figure. I think Pitt may be sneaky good. You know, I've heard that, Tebow. I've heard that from several people. One being Bud Foster. For some reason, Pitt, I think they retained a lot, or they did a great job in the portal, kind of low key. Yeah. Exactly, Jeff. You can't even look at Indiana and think, exactly, man. So I don't know. That's why you just have to wait. It's almost like you can't, because you have to make preseason predictions, but you want to watch a team play a few times, or at least a couple of times, just to see how it looks. How is that new quarterback going to fit? He may have played well in a different spot when he's getting more money here. How does how does all that come together? That's the challenge of these collegiate coaching staffs now. It is so different. So I get people ask all the time about, what's your prediction? What are you doing? And all that. And I just say, well, let's just wait. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's see here. I'm having some issues here with our invites, so we'll see if that kind of plays through here. There we go. That wasn't a studio thing. That was a Google thing. Shocker. Speaking of trillion-dollar companies. Damien Sorlette going to join us, back from vacation. With these big conferences, schedules are drastically different. Yeah, they are. UVA avoids Clemson and Miami again this year. Tebow says, honestly, Tech has some games they should win. Correct. No, we remember you, Veers. Welcome back. Yeah, and 50-50 games. You know what? And you know what? That's good news. The fact you can look at the schedule, at least preemptively, and say Tech has 50-50 games. Whereas last year, you look at certain games and think, they got no shot. What's up, Really A? Yeah, we remember you. We remember you, Really A. Really A. The UVA does avoid Clemson and Miami. Let me look that up. I have not looked at it one time. We'll look it up here later on. We'll look at it and we'll see what we got with them. That's right. Beat Maryland, win home games, and you're going to have that season that you hope in year one. Damien Sordelet's joining us, all refreshed from vacation, I hope. What's up,
man? Morning. Do need to send an apology to you and the listeners, since you messaged me 2 Tuesdays ago, said, hey, you're on vacation this week. And I was like, yeah. And then about 3 or 4 hours later, I was told, hey, go to the press conference.
You were off vacation at that point.
Yes. Yes. And I forgot to reach out to you and say, hey, I'm actually working. But at least I got
okay.
At least I can talk about Brian White if you haven't talked about him enough already. So
No, that's all right. Yeah, all that happened. It always happens, right? It's like they used to say all the things happen in the middle of the night. All the weird things happen early in the morning. Well, all the weird things happen when you're a beat reporter for a certain school and then you're on vacation. That's what happened to
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Well, what are your thoughts after talking to Brian White, the new director of athletics?
A good hire. When you have a 42-year-old who has as much experience as he has, um, it's a good sign. And Virginia Tech wasn't going to poach a sitting Power Four athletic director. You're going to need to get an up and comer, and Brian White knows that it's in his blood. With his dad Kevin being an AD for as long as he was, his brother Danny being an athletic director, um, his brother Brian being the men's basketball coach at Georgia, being in athletics is his thing, and he was smart. And this is something that we gleaned from him in the breakout session with just the beat writers. His dad told him to go into business first, go into the business side of things first, because he felt like college sports were trending in that direction, that you were going to need to be savvy on the business side. And lo and behold, you know, fast forward to now, Virginia Tech with starting up Hokie Ventures, you need someone who understands the business side of things. And he did a lot of good work at FAU with fundraising, but FAU is still a young university. There's not a lot there in terms of the athletic programs history, because the university's young, and and a lot of the athletic programs there are still relatively young. So um, he can tap into a lot larger donor base at Virginia Tech, um, and some big donors too, to really get the ball rolling.
What do you think the situation with the position is going to look like now? Are we starting to get a better idea? Is it more constantly fundraising? Is it more? I mean, I don't know when he might have to look at hiring his first coach. Football he won't have anything to do with. I mean, how do you think it's going to structure? I know what they have told us, but did you get kind of a sense from anybody that how you think it might look going forward?
Yeah, it's going to be a traditional AD job. Now, the fundraising side of it from a corporate side of things, you know, that's going to be Hokie Ventures CEO, but Brian White's going to have a big hand in it, because he knows what it's like to go to these businesses and, you know, approach them, how to handle them. He did that down in Boca. Um, so he can probably give direction, and that could take something off his plate. But he's still going to be very invested in how you do things from that perspective. So it's same from whenever they hire an executive director to lead the Hokie Club, Brian White's still going to have a say in things, um, especially when he says, "All right, we need to. Okay, this is a donor who, you know, got some money. We haven't tapped into it. Let's find a plan to get them on campus. Let's find a plan to see them in person. Let's find a plan to really give them, you know, things that say, okay, yes, we want to invest into this university, into this athletic program, and the department's given us a reason why, because they're giving us access that we might not have gotten, or they're giving us some perks that we probably would have gotten." He's done that, so I think he can help push things along while still maintaining his day-to-day operations.
We had a good discussion yesterday. Wayne just asked you the question. This whole Witt emeritus situation, it's always felt odd. It's always felt unnecessary. I know it was part of the buyout negotiation. So what exactly is this? How do you think that's going to look if indeed he's intent on staying there for the next 3 years?
Well, this is day one of the emeritus role, and he's in Ireland with a lot of other Virginia Tech contingent right now, probably enjoying some vacation. Um, he can just be a sounding board for Brian White. I mean, Brian White's got two really good sounding boards, and his dad and his brother. who have been athletic directors to go to, but Witt knows the ins and outs of Virginia Tech. So if Brian's got a question about, I saw Prometheus made a comment about basketball hire coming soon. Witt can probably give him the ins and outs of what's up with Mike Young and his contract situation, and here's why things may not have worked out with when it comes to the roster retention, the roster management, because of NIL, because of how they do revenue sharing. Uh, that those are things that Witt can help him out with, and we can tell him, hey, these are plans that we had in place for um, renovating the softball facility, which needs it, the Castle Coliseum upgrade, or building a new facility for that for basketball and volleyball. Here are the plans that we had. Those are some institutional knowledge things that Brian White's not going to get just by being there. It's going to be from Whit Babcock and the fact that he's been there for 12 years. Like, he can sound off on him. I view it as like similar to a Bud Foster role, being sort of a ambassador for the university. But I don't know how much you work for the university, but it's essentially Witt, have their phone on you. If Brian's got any questions, he'll give you a call.
Is he going to have an active office over there too? Is he just, I mean, or is he just going to be working away from the facility? Like, I don't know the
I would
answer.
I would say working away from the facility, because you don't want to make it seem like, hey, you're technically
Exactly.
hired.
Yeah.
Come into this office on a daily basis.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That would be weird.
He said he's got his home in Blacksburg. Like, he's around the corner. If you need something, he can be there in probably a few minutes. So it's a convenience thing. I don't know how much he's going to get called on, but it's nice to have him around because, again, Brian White's been an AD for 8 years. He was born for this business, but it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion, or in this case, it'll probably be a fourth or fifth opinion if he has to get to Witt, because he'll have other people he'll be able to go to first for some of these things.
You think Witt, I mean, I don't know. You know him better than I do. You've talked to him more than I have. Do you think he's intent on staying there all 3 years? I mean, it's basically free money. So from that standpoint, from the financial motivation, I guess it's there. But you think he would want to be there that long?
Yeah. I mean, his family's there. So why not? Tim Sands is, I think, doing some renovations on his house in Blacksburg. So Tim Sands is staying around. And Andy and I were having this conversation last week. It's like, at this point, is Tim Sands not going to stay the rest of his contract, which is through the end of 26, 27? At this point, with where they are with hiring a president, I could see him staying. And then he's already said he's going to stay. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me for him to stay. He's got it. He's a Virginian. I mean, if he needs to go up to Harrisonburg, it's an easy access point to 81. I think he's going to stay for a while.
Yeah, where are they with the president thing? That thing just seems to have just gone away. You don't hear anything about that, where that sits.
Yeah, I think once you got rid of a rector who wanted to get someone in place for the start of the academic year, and then you got rid of him, and then you added so many new voices to the search committee. The brakes went from not just pumped; they went to full-fledged to the floor stop for that. This is going to be they're going to string this process along, and I guess they want to find the right candidate. I'd heard some rumors about the former rector wanting to get a certain individual in as president around this time. Someone who aligned with the rector. Wayne, it was very messy. when you're trying to instill the former governor of Virginia as the president of Virginia Tech. So yeah, that would have been very messy. So it's going to be a cleaner process now.
You hope. One hopes. One
Oh, yeah.
hopes. Politics
Yeah,
are going to be involved, so it's never going to be clean, you know.
And Rakovich's main thing was, if you try to hire someone like mid-academic year, are you going to really get the best candidate? You want to get someone who could come in at this point and get things going for the academic year. You don't really want to come in and have someone like Tim Sands' situation. Tim Sands came in mid academic year when he was hired back in 2014, and he had to essentially roll through the rest of that year, and then could start implementing things that summer. I think they wanted someone to come in to set a tone right from the get-go, not get the feel of the land and then do that. So we'll see what happens.
Do you think the way this has gone about, the AD's here, president, we don't know when that's going to happen? You think now this is kind of an admission that the new president, look, the last thing you need to worry about is athletics at this point. We made our biggest hire. All of our hires are in place. You're coming here to be more part of the institutional part. We want you to be friends to the athletic department, clearly, but it doesn't feel like the new presidential hire is going to be considered much at all in terms of connecting with athletics, just looking at the timing of it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows? They might add Brian White to the search committee, since you are losing some members of the Board of Visitors whose term ended yesterday. I think it's 4 or 5 of them. So it might be nice to add him to the search committee if need be, because he mentioned he worked with 3 different university presidents and 4 different board chairs during his time at FAU. He's like, I got along great with every new president. So I'd be fine with whoever they hire. He's like, it'd be stupid for a president to come in and say, oh, look at all this investment they've made into athletics and all the steps they're trying to make forward, and then just go and undo it. You're not going to have someone that comes in and does that. You're going to have someone who comes in and says, oh, this is the direction we need to go. Let's keep the momentum rolling. And that's how Brian White views it. And I think that's how other people view it. And so now Jim Miller is leading that charge as the new rector. I guess today's his first day. Jim Miller and Tim Sands both signed off on Brian White for AD. So I think Tim Sands was still invested in it and still wants to. He doesn't want his legacy from the athletic side to be, the last few years, especially for football. I think Tim Sands is in the Whit Babcock position of, if this thing can get turned around under my watch before a new president comes in, you're going to look at the totality of his time of elevating the academic side, but also, hey, we're in good shape.
Yeah. I believe Sands and Franklin were the 2 that signed off on Brian White. I think that's from what I've been.
Yeah, and Franklin said, when you looked at Brian White's resume, he had 8 years of, you could see what his successes and his failures were. And, in the case of, say, a Matt Roan, his time at James Madison, it's a smaller sample size. Though I thought Matt Roan would have been an excellent candidate, despite you can look back at his time at Eastern Kentucky and all the other places he's been. That's a good sample size.
Yeah.
But I think they just looked at, you can't attribute all the success at James Madison to Matt Roan, because his predecessor did a lot of it. But at the same time, James Madison's still rolling. That's
yeah. Yes, they are, and they will continue to be as long as he's there.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing can be said for White too, though. I mean, since Dusty May left, his basketball team hasn't been good. His football team since 2020 is 26-41. So he's been there the whole time. So that whole argument, and I saw that what they tried to say, or how they tried, and I don't, what part of those records for those two programs that are your big money makers make you think, oh, but Brian White's, he's locked this down, right?
Yeah.
Just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
I agree with you, but also at the same time, the only 2 seasons FAU has had any sort of success is when Lane Kiffin was there. I mean, they didn't win when Howard Schellenberger was there. They didn't win with Willie Taggart. They haven't won with anyone else. It doesn't matter whether in Conference USA.
Yeah, but he hired both those guys too. He hired Willie Taggart too.
Yeah.
So
I know. He had to find someone to replace Lane Kiffin. And who else are you going to find to fill those shoes?
Well, I don't know. Sure as hell wasn't Willie Taggart. I know that.
No.
Do you think they're going to go forward? This whole committee thing seems to be their new thing. You mentioned earlier you think it'll be a traditional AD role, but say Mike Young says, you know what? It's been great, but it's time now after 26, 27 to move on. And you think he's going to be allowed to hire a basketball coach, or are we going to go through this committee stuff every time now there's an open?
No, I think he'll be allowed to hire a basketball coach. I mean, all he's got to do is go to his brother at Georgia and be like, hey, you have any assistants there who are ready for a head coaching job? That could be one of the first stops, and that's not going to be a bad thing to do. And he's probably going to assess other people as well. I mean, he hired Dusty May off his brother's staff. It was a good hire. So, I think he'll be allowed to. I mean, he's a former basketball player. He jokingly said the direction all the brothers wanted to go was to go to the NBA, not to be in administrator roles. So I think he knows basketball pretty well. So that will be, I would say they'll probably let him make that hire.
I hope, because I think the committee thing, it doesn't end up being a committee selection anyway. It comes down to 1 or 2 people, basically. Yeah, I hope that kind of goes by the wayside. You can't get 2 people to agree on what color the sky is in the same room, right? Much less try to say, hey, are we all 7, 8 of us? We good?
Yeah.
Tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, and I understand with the football search committee, it's like you didn't want to put it in Whit's hands for a third time. So that's why you went that route. And I understand the AD committee because you have a president who's heading out the door and you don't really want him to go in and like half-heartedly make a selection.
Yeah.
But I think if you have an AD who this is where he wants to be, because he mentioned to us in the breakout session, he and his family had just bought a house in Boca 3 months ago. Like they were planning on staying.
Yeah, he didn't really want to go. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, and why would you? On the visiting sideline of their football stadium, it says 1.7 miles to the ocean.
Honey, we're staying.
Yeah. And like, so were you happy with trading in the beach with the mountains? And I mean, his brother did the same thing. His brother went from UCF before they moved to the Big 12. So this was another group of 5 AD going to a power conference program like Tennessee. And Danny White has turned Tennessee around. And if Brian can do the same thing, hey, Virginia Tech will be happy with that. And especially if they can get Tennessee football on a home series.
Well, the key, I don't think that's going to happen. But the key is, how does he work with James Franklin? Let's just say the whole success of his tenure is going to be how that relationship develops over time. I know it's all, hey, dating the new girl right now. It's all exciting. Yeah. But let's just see how this all settles in going forward. That's going to be the thing I believe it's going to take. We'll know by how the successes go and what we hear, but that's going to be the whole key to it. And I know James Franklin had to have the right type of temperament in there in that position. I guess is the best way to say it.
And if Brian White is really good at raising money and tapping into donors, James Franklin probably looked at that as, oh, I'll be able to bring in some more NIL dollars. I'll be able to bring in stuff to help with this, with that. Yeah, I could see that happening. Like James Franklin looked at it like, oh, you can help bring in money. I will be very happy with that.
Morris asked, do you know, what is this? Julie Ross, the provost, will she be considered for the new president? Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that. I'm sure they're probably considering internal candidates, but I assume they're looking for someone who has been a university president. Um, that would be my guess, or someone who's run something of this magnitude. So,
who do you think ultimately? Do you think the new president? How much will the governor have to like? That's part of the thing. How much of that will be tech, and how much you think that'll be drawn from that influence going forward?
I don't know if the governor's going to have any input on the president. Her board selections will have input, so I mean, she could have some sway with them if she wants. But I would probably say that that the governor's going to stay out of the presidential search. They will let that committee search. I mean, she could have a de facto sounding board, I guess you could say, or proxy. That's a better word. She could have a proxy there who can say, well, how about you consider this person? Or that might not be the right choice. You could have a proxy who's there. So who knows? But I think the president will probably be left out of it. Or sorry, the governor will be left out of that process.
Well, she's already kind of put herself involved in the process a little bit, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. So, did you get to have any fun at all on your? Did you get to enjoy anything away when you went?
Oh, I hit the golf course.
Yeah, I know you were looking forward to golfing.
Yeah, got some golfing in. My brother-in-law and I, we hadn't played in like 13 months, so that was one of those. We'll go out there and play a round or two, but we're not going to keep score because we know it's going to be significantly higher than what it is. And I can tell you my my drive. Let's just say I have a tendency to lift my back shoulder a little bit on the coming through on the swing, and oof, it was not good.
How often do you try to play? I mean, you get out there every couple of weeks. You try to keep it updated and fresh.
Yeah, there's a point. It was last year where my brother-in-law and I were playing pretty consistently, and then he got a job promotion. I got into like once, then football season started getting going, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, we haven't played golf in a while. So I mean, life happens. So we'll be hopefully hitting it up here in a couple weeks too, in between trips. So hopefully, while I'm in Nashville, I can find a golf course and hit it up.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, here's my best to you to keep them in the fairway, my friend.
Yeah, I was not in the fairway a lot. Well, let's just say I was punching into the fairway quite a bit.
Okay, well, that's all right. That's all right. No worries. Hey,
Now,
score wasn't a factor anyway, so.
And I only lost 2 balls.
Oh, that's a good day. That seems like a good day to me, right?
Yeah, 1 to the water and 1 to the woods.
Yeah, I could see the water being something that would be a problem for me. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's try to stay cool the rest of the week, my friend.
Yeah, I will. It's yeah, it looks like it's warming up for 4th of July.
It is. It is. The next 4 days, it's gonna be warm. Gonna be warm. But hey, it's July, so there you go.
It is.
That happens.
Yeah, get this temperature, the heat wave out of the way, and hopefully by September 5th, when kickoff comes, it's in the 70s, comfortable for fans for that 7:30 kickoff against VMI, and it's a good day. And hopefully we avoid the storms too. That
Oh,
come
that's
with.
what you. Yeah, I know. That's the worst. And September just seems to be that whole bring it together. Right, those are the storms they hit, and game is delayed. We have a lightning threat. Everyone, please leave the stadium. We'll let you know what's going on in the next couple hours. Maybe we play football. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, Tebow. I tell you, the next day I had plenty of sore muscles.
I'm
Though
sure.
there was a group in front of us. I don't know how far ahead, but there was a discarded pack of Blue Chew after number one. And I'm looking on the ground. I'm like, someone wants to play 19 today. And my brother-in-law kind of just laughed. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. You get a little too old and you got to take something to help you on the course.
Morris is saying, come on down, Damien. I'll buy you around playing Friday at Space Coast Community Country Club. So there you go.
Ooh.
Near Merritt Island, near Cocoa Beach.
Oh, I wish I could. I'm working this week.
You give him a rain check? You give Morris a rain check? He would definitely host you. I know.
I will give him a rain check.
He will definitely host you.
I got a few things I got to finish up before I take vacation next week. And then I don't know if we'll be able to talk the 2 Wednesdays from now because I'll be in Charlotte for the ACC Media Days.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, just let me know. It'd be cool to get some sites right there, but everything. But let me know if it doesn't work out. Yeah, we can adjust. We'll do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, because that Wednesday morning is when Phillips talks to us. So
okay. If you can't, just let me know. Yeah.
I might be able to swing on that Thursday morning.
Okay.
If you have,
Okay. Yeah, we'll work it out.
Definitely. Yeah, before Virginia Tech talks to us, might be able to do that or Friday.
Yeah. And that'll be the official launch of football season. That'll fit right. That'll be okay. Now we can get into it a little bit more.
Yeah, and then when we're waiting for the realignment stuff to come out, because usually around ACC Media Days is when realignment happens.
Always. All right, brother. Great stuff, man. We appreciate you. Good to have you back. I'm glad you had a little bit of time away anyway. So
and talk to you in a couple of weeks.
All right, man. Take care of yourself.
All right, see you guys.
There you go. Damien Sordelet joining us on the program. Good to hear from him. He won't be here next week, but we'll have him back a couple of weeks. So, good morning, Chris Lester. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Chris, how was the wedding? We're family here. No pictures? All right. So we have started December, my Lord. Take 2. We have started July. And this means Professional Door Incorporated is starting year number 40. Travis Williams' father started the business, and Travis has taken it to unbelievable heights. I know how proud his dad is of him. And folks, you got to listen and you got to take advantage. If you're a regular viewer or listener of this program and your garage doors need service, call Professional Door 674-0008. They're giving you $40 off right off the top if you schedule your maintenance of your garage door. Preventative maintenance is what it's all about. In the month of July, the work can take place in August. It can take place in September. It doesn't matter. But the only way you get the $40 off is to say you heard us talking about it here on BDST. Oh, so it's a great deal. And, I have 4 neighbors here that have messed up garage doors in and around the area. So reach out, Professional Door. They do the best job, commercial, residential doors all throughout the month. Again, just call during this month. We got 31 days, but we're getting you started now. So great opportunity from Travis and Professional Door offering it to you. He's all about community. Call them up today. Get on the schedule. Again, you're not scheduling for today or tomorrow. You're scheduling just to say, boom, this is what we're doing. Get it done through Professional Door. Lord Lester fits him, doesn't he? He just looks so regal. I'm waiting for the official ones to come in. I'm with you because we still don't have ours. She did a great job. This is going to sound weird. Ready for this? My wife, Janet, she's got a few, but they're getting ready to come in this week, I think. Absolutely. We were thinking about you, my friend. Awesome. Glad you got back from the West Coast. And I hope you grilled the new son-in-law. Right? Tebow says the next day after smashing a bucket of golf balls, I felt like I'd played backyard football. Yeah, I can see that. Don't forget the bash is coming July the 18th. We want you there. 540-382-5525 at the NRV Super Bowl over in Christiansburg, right near the DMV. They've got Midnight Madness every Saturday. Starts at 11. Great prizes, great prices, great everything. Go hang out with the Super Bowl. Sundown Electric, speaking of local businesses and sons who have taken it to a different level, well, they have done that down in Elliston. Nothing but 5-star reviews. They keep the prices down. We appreciate their support. We couldn't do the program without the support of our sponsorship friends. Just couldn't. So thanks to them. Ready, Set Fund, Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Series of text messages. That's all it is for about a week. You can raise lots of money to help you towards your goal. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program, and my exclusive banking partner. BDST Fan Question Week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Reach out to him. Trust me, somebody who, just a few years ago went through the whole being the executor of my mother's will and her property. I tell you what, you need a good person like that. Ryan Price is the best. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street, Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Get your air units figured out because if you don't, you're screwed. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. I hope to get Jonathan Sweet on. They just got another award. We got to talk about that. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294. FamilyFencingNRB.com. Reach out to Jason Green. And Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. He's ready to pop you into a new existence. I try to come up with a fresh catchphrase every time I mention his chiropractic practice. Many of you have come to me and said you've reached out, so that's great. So that's awesome. That is awesome. Good, Chris. I'm glad. By the way, we're doing Big Dog Pop again tomorrow night. Brian says, I'm sore after washing my truck. Jeff says, dude, I'm still trying to get used to saying my fiance, but wife? Hey, this is Janet, my wife. All right, get Creed in. Creed looks like he's saying, all right, dude, I was out all night. It's hot out here. You going to let me in? What are we doing here? I mean, hey, come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. All right. What's up, Soul Suffix? Good to see you. Please subscribe. By the way, we're going to have Big Dog Pop tomorrow night. Todd Grantham going to join us here at 7:45, the defensive coordinator at UAB. We'll ask him about, we've kind of touched on it before, but we'll ask him about some of the differences of, like we talked with Keon about modern athlete, young people. Todd just rolls with the punches, man. He's not going to change how he goes about trying to prepare his team, his players. Yes, Kenny. Kenny asking about the professional door promotion. Kenny, yeah, you don't have to have the service done in July, but you have to schedule it here this month. 674-0008. So there you go. Somebody's already asking. That's good. $40 off to celebrate 40 years. Now that is caring about your customer. Doesn't matter whether they put your garage door in or if it came with it or whatever. We're talking about preventative maintenance. And I've had 2 neighbors tell me that they ignored it for too long and now they're stuck. One guy has his, he watches the show. He's got his like a quarter of the way up and it just broke. It's like, yeah, well, you should call professional door. So good stuff from Keon and Damien. Tomorrow's the Thursday edition. Not sure how that's going to look yet. We'll let you know. We know we'll have David Smith. I believe Andy Bitter, Dwight. And I'm going to try to see if Jonathan Sweet's available because we got to talk about their award. Let me ask him right now. What do you think? Not only are they doing unprecedented things up there, but they're also getting awards. Da, 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 da. Guess I should spell his name right. It's probably not a good thing to have the name wrong. There we go. Got it right. There we go. Yeah, owning a house isn't always a good thing. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I need a new shower put in. There's so much. You're right. It never seems to end, man. The cost never seems to end. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, my roof situation was probably as frustrated as I've ever been in my life. Thank goodness that it was done so professionally and wonderfully. So I don't know what's going on with Gmail today. It's causing all sorts of problems as I try to invite my guests on. If at first you don't succeed, try again. That's what we're trying to do here. All right. The Creed is very happy that I let him in. He's down here now. What's up, buddy? Yep. Yeah, the roof was very stressful. He was. I'm pretty sure I saw some zebras run across the road yesterday. It was hot. Yeah, they're all migrating here because it's so warm. You know, it's going to be our first real brush with really hot temperatures, isn't it? 94 today, 95 tomorrow, 93 on Friday, 94 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday. Then it starts to cool off down in the high 80s, mid-80s the next week. Chris Lester says zebras. Now that's hot. Zebras have always fascinated me, man. I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but Wildlife in general always has, but how they're so perfectly striped. It's kind of like Bengal tigers. They're just so beautiful. It's just, or it was so hot, Tebow was seeing things. Yeah, maybe he was so delirious after being so sore after hitting golf balls. Maybe he just felt like, maybe he just felt like that. That's true. That's true. Nope, someone else. Danny, how are you? Asking about the professional door promotion. Yeah, just tell them, mention BDST. You got your $40 discount. Yep. Had to shave Bigfoot's back yesterday. It was so hot. Oh, Prometheus, guess what I found out yesterday? So this whole capturing Bigfoot while we await Todd Grantham, this whole capturing Bigfoot documentary is allegedly finally going to be released in October. So April, May, June, July, August, September, some 7 months since it was debuted in March at that festival down in Texas. Don't know which service yet. They haven't announced that. It's been kind of weird. But our dude, Harry Manroad, had a video yesterday, and again, proclaiming anyone who watches this that still doesn't understand it was a hoax, the Patterson film of it anyway, then you're just whatever. He was taking shots at people. It's easy when you're the one who's seen it. But I don't like coming at people who haven't seen it, and if they still saying, look, I'm not going to make a decision until I do, right? Tebow says he was having post-bucket of golf ball hallucinations. The zebras are cool, man. They really are. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, we will. We're going to have a whole pop show dedicated to that thing when it comes out. Absolutely. We're not going to have any other conversation. Joining us now on the program. Wait a minute. He doesn't look stressed at all. As a matter of fact, he's not in some football conference room. That's Todd Grantham,
that's right.
UAV on vacay. How's your holiday? How's your holiday going?
It's going. The only thing is, man, is if you look at it, like ever since I've been there in January, it's basically been 7 days a week, for the most part. We got a little time off at spring break or whatever. So then when you get vacation, it's like, all right, what do I do? And you kind of feel awkward. You know what I mean? So it takes I've been here since Friday, so it takes a little bit of time to adjust to like, okay, just chill, do what you want to do, fish, golf, whatever, take the boat out, all that kind of stuff. But it takes like a week to get like you used to being on vacation and everything. And then, I'll go for about a week and a half or whatever, but somewhere around after the 4th of July, then you start thinking about, okay, training camp's coming up, got to set the install, got to set meetings and walkthroughs. See, then you start doing that, and then maybe we'll get a rainy day or something like that, and I'll be able to do some stuff. So it's all good. You manage it.
That's great. Yeah, I was going to say, I bet it is kind of awkward. You're looking around, you're wondering, what am I going to do? And you're looking to think about, okay, let's go back and look at this practice film or something, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not.
Yeah,
No,
you
what
don't
am I
have
going
to
to
do
do?
that.
Yeah.
So, you just get a lot of free time, a lot of idle time, which you don't get when you're working, and everything. So it ends up being a little bit awkward at times. You feel like you should be doing something.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So
how much fishing are you going to try to do?
I'll do a lot. So
yeah,
I'll do a lot. But, I've had my pond. I developed it with a friend of mine. We actually shared. It runs through both of our properties. It's about 18 acres. And, we've had it for about 12 years, doing really well. But, what happens is habitat, trees and things like that over a course of time, like when you build it, the natural habitat can dissolve and, go away. And so I just bought, it's called mossback habitat. Okay. So it's natural habitat. It's basically PVC pipes that are made as far as bushes. And what you do is you put them in there for a safe haven for bait fish, for example, because that's how you grow your fish and they're healthy. Is you have, what we call threadfin shad or bluegill. Well, these bushes and these safe havens allow them places to hide, and what's crazy is you say hide, you think hide from the fish, which is true, But they got to hide from the birds too, man, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen a bird, a hawk or something swoop down and, grab one. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, I got a little project with my neighbor that I partner with on it when I get back from the 4th, that we got to put some of that stuff down. So we're going to do that. I'm kind of looking forward to it and build a little structure there for the bass.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't think about that. You're
Well,
right.
what's funny? What's funny is so I've been researching it. Like I take the football coach approach. I got to research it, analyze it, evaluate it, and all that. And so I came up with this company, Mossback Habitat, and really cool. It's made out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. So I just emailed the guy, right? So I emailed this guy, and I'm asking him some questions about it, whatever. And he responds. Well, then I ask him some more questions. He responds, and then the last one, he goes, "Hey, I got a question for you off topic." He goes, "Are you Todd Grantham, the football coach?" ? Well, I started laughing. Well, he had copied me to a guy named David King. Well, David King is the owner of Mossback Habitat, and he actually played at the University of Arkansas. Okay,
oh, cool.
Very similar to the time that I was growing up playing at Virginia Tech. So I actually went, yes, I am, laugh out loud, whatever, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna call you, give my number." Well, I was gonna call him, ask some questions. Well, the owner got my number and texted me and said, "Hey, Todd, this is David. Give you a call sometime." So I ended up talking to the guy for like 30 minutes, about old times, about his Razorbacks back when this would have been before Lou Holtz. He actually played for Ken Hatfield, so that tells you he's going back a little bit. But
yeah,
he's obviously a diehard Razorback and all that. So we had a good conversation. So anyway, it was fun. It was good. So yeah, that's a project I got when I get back from my vacation.
Oh, that's very cool, man. That's very cool. Well, see there, your reputation precedes you in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. Tebow says he saw an interview with your quarterback down for the Blazers. So he seemed like a really good kid. You've talked about him a lot. You're really high on him, aren't you?
He's a stud, man. He's a stud. He's a really good player. He's got the makeups that you want in your quarterback. He's tough. He's competitive. He's got the talent, like he can make the throws. The thing I like about him is he makes all the guys around him better. You can't say that about a lot of quarterbacks. That's how I evaluate a quarterback is, does his toughness come across to the team? You know what I'm saying? It's particularly the offense, the offensive line, the skill guys. So I really do like him. I think he's made of the right stuff. He's a grinder. He was the kind of guy that during spring practice, like we would have, we'd practice, practice a day, off a day, practice a day, off a day. So on the off day, he would actually take the quarterbacks and go out on the field. And I could see it from my office at night. And about 6 o'clock at night, he would take the quarterbacks out and they would go through the entire script for the next day as far as plays and reads and that kind of thing. And he did that on his own. And that's what I'm used to. I got spoiled, when I first got into the National Football League. I had Peyton Manning, and Peyton was just unreal as far as his preparation. And really, one of the reasons I gravitated to the 3-4 was because Peyton could not understand Belichick's system. If you go back and look, Peyton struggled against the 3-4 because, for example, when they played a 4-down front, he knew, hey, if this guy's in a 9 technique on the left side, well, the pressure's coming from the right side, so he could ID the protection and go this way. He knew, hey, based upon the rotation, they're coming in a down safety defense, middle of the field's closed. Well, when he played Belichick and them, he could never tell that. He could never tell where the fourth rusher was. He could never tell if it was because Belichick and them even got to the point where, okay, so if you're in quarters playing cover 4, you're 4 across in the back end. So your safety shoulders are a little more square because they're reading the number 2 guy to their side. Well, when they're playing cover 2, their shoulders would open a little bit because they got to get out to the half. So a lot of teams that Peyton would play, not only would he read the safeties, he would read the safety shoulders. So he knew based upon their exit point that they were in cover 2 or cover 4. So we actually teach our safeties now to make them all look the same. Like we'll show quarters, but really going to cover 2. Not that I think anybody in college is going to know that right now, but you never know. But anyway, Belichick and them would actually show quarters with their shoulders square and then get to cover 2. And then they would actually show cover 2 and then come back to quarters. So it was just the ongoing deal. And I remember one time Huffnagel was we were playing Indy back in old Foxborough. Like the locker room back then was horrible. We're coming out, and Vic Fangio was our coordinator. Vic was our coordinator, and it was one of those deals where like we were either up by, it was a one possession game, but it was tight. And I got on the headset and I go, "Hey Vic," I go, "we're going to shut these dudes out this half." He goes, "Why is that?" I go, "I don't know. I just walked behind our quarterback. He said there's nowhere to throw the ball today." So I said, if that's his opinion right now, man, we better hold on, man. We better. So we ended up getting beat that game. But yeah, so a lot of my stuff philosophically come not so much more from watching the offense and just watching how he struggled with it early. And it wasn't until later in his career that he actually figured out that system a little bit and what to do and everything. So yeah, that's it.
How much does it help, Ryder, that he was at BYU in West Virginia? Does that show through? Those experiences show for him when you watch him?
I think that, he was the guy that from talking to him, he did a lot of research coming from West Virginia to UAB. In other words, like his quarterback coach or the guy that he would train with in the offseason had done Jalen Hurts, had done Tua, had done Mac Jones. So he had done a lot of the Alabama guys. And then, of course, Coach Mortensen, Alex had actually developed those guys. Mort was really the quarterback coach when he was there, okay? And he had a relationship with those guys and really developed them. So when Mort started talking about, hey, I developed this guy, coach this guy, whatever, well, Ryder's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to call him. And that's really what sold Ryder on going to UAB with Coach Mortensen was the fact that those guys were like, hey, if you want to get developed for this league, there's nowhere else to go, man. I mean, I don't care. You can talk any SEC, ACC school for your development as a player. This is the best place for you. And he actually came there, and he's actually the kind of kid that he took less money to stay, and he went under the approach that we need to disperse that throughout the team because I want our team to be better, which will make me better. And that's the kind of kid he is. I think the kid's an NFL prospect myself. We got to obviously wait and watch how he plays, but relative to what I've seen the last few years in my time in the National Football League, he's as good as guys that are starting.
Man, that says a hell of a lot for him to be a college quarterback. And you heard about what Tom Brady all those years, deferred salary, right? Patrick Mahomes, look, I got money. Let's make our team better. Boy, to hear a college kid say that, that's the right stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's
he's
cool.
He's a great kid. He's what you want in your quarterback. So I'm looking forward to battling with him. So
when we talked about this with Keon, I've talked about it with you before, but kids, you've evolved as a coach at every level, the highest level collegiately in the NFL, the highest level of all. Now here at UAB, I mean, what do you like best about kids like this? What's the biggest differences in kids like this now that are coming to UAB and building something, and getting an opportunity? What do you like best about that as a coach?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, kids haven't changed as much as the environment and the people around them have changed. And
that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think when like you and I grew up, like if Coach Hicks, for example, said run through the wall, well, shit, you're running through the wall. I ain't care with the coach. There's a center block there. I don't give a shit. Run through the wall, right?
That's right.
So like if a coach told you to do something, you did it because he was the coach, because with his title became instant respect, right? And belief in what he did. Okay. That's just the way it was. Well, I think with society today and the way things have developed, there's a lack of trust there from your youth. Okay. And I think what you have to do first as a coach is develop a relationship with them that they got to understand you got their best interest at heart, and here's how you can develop them, and here are the things they got to do. And I think you got to have honest conversations with them. Now, some people aren't going to like those conversations from the standpoint of, well, I'm this or I'm that, because they've been hearing that for a long time. Okay. In other words, when a kid's a really talented guy growing up, could be parents, could be uncle, could be whoever. Okay. Or telling them, hey, you're this, you're that. Well, you may be, but as you go up, you're going to have to work and develop yourself. So you're going to have to take coaching. And I think the guys that can understand that and understand that, this guy's got your best interest at heart, those are the guys that you reach, and those are the guys that end up growing, per se. So I think the biggest thing is nowadays it's about relationship with the players. And look, they're going to have their own individual goals, but that's okay as long as you fit them within the team concept, and it's okay that you want to lead you want to lead the NCAA in sacks. It's okay if you want to lead in rush yards, but here's how we have to do it as a team so our team wins. And I think you just got to build it that way. And then I think nowadays you have to show them how I can create value for you. Okay. Because every player, college or pro is just as bad. They all got their own agenda. Right. And if your perception of them or their role doesn't fit their agenda, well, you're going to have to manage that. Okay. And you got to talk through that. So I think those are the biggest things now with guys. And I think the biggest thing with younger guys, particularly in college more so, is that particularly just being at the higher profile places is there's a lot of pressure on kids from the standpoint of when they're coming through, oh, you're a first round pick. Like everybody's a first round pick. Well, there's only 32 of them, right, every year. Okay. And they hear that for, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever. Right. And they hear it from family members, close friends. They hear all this. Well, eventually you start believing that. Well, when you get to college, all of a sudden there's other first round picks too. Right. So then you have to, how hard are you working? What's your attention to detail? Can the coach trust you? These things start coming into play. And it's like anything. It's like any profession. The guys that can adapt to that are the ones that end up being successful. And a lot of times there is a lot of pressure on guys in college that are exterior, meaning coming from family members. I mean, nowadays it could even be an agent, telling y'all you're worth $250,000 if you get in the portal right now. He doesn't know that, but he's going to tell the kid that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where, as a coach, you just got to tell them the truth and you got to show them reasons why. And you live with it. And if they want to be a part of it, you'll develop and let them grow. If they don't, then you'll have to move on. So I think those are the biggest things now is it takes a little more time to develop players and not so much develop them from a technique standpoint, but develop them from a relationship standpoint to believe in what you're wanting them to do. And I think that's what you're battling all the time.
All right, you're getting strategic questions here now from our peeps. Coach, do you have a preference of going against the spread, heavy tight end sets, 12 or 13 personnel? I know each proposed different challenges. So what do you think?
I really don't care. I mean, I think we've developed our system that, like for 11 personnel, and to me, the hardest personnel grouping, I always said if I ever became a head coach was going to be 12 personnel. Because what happens is in 12 personnel, I can make what we call condensed formations, which means, hey, the traditional 2 tight end sets are there, and I can make 2 3-man surfaces, or I can make a wing set. But also out of that personnel grouping, I can displace a receiver or a tight end to make him look like a receiver. Now I'm in my 11 personnel package. So when I was with Dan, I used to tell him, I'd said, and Dan actually developed a package in 12 to where they had 2 sets of calls when they got to 12, because we had Kyle Pitts at Florida. That was one of the reasons we went to the SEC championship game, is because we played 12 personnel, and Kyle could go out as a receiver, so we could make him the backside X. Well, if you're going middle of field close, he's one-on-one on a corner. That's a mismatch. Okay. And if you go split safety, we can run the ball per se, or we can work something else. And honestly, Pitts was good enough that you could still throw it to him because 2 guys weren't going to cover him. But my point is Dan actually developed a package where, because a lot of times when you make those spread formations that look like what we call 11 personnel, the 3 wide receiver sets, people are like, well, we're going to play nickel. Well, the problem with that is if you play nickel and then they reduce those sets and get in broad blocking surfaces, that nickel has to take on a tight end. Well, now you have a mismatch in the run game.
Yeah.
So Dan actually had a package where he would put 12 personnel out there, and if you were in nickel, they were going to run the ball. If you were in base, what happened is they would spread you out, and now you had a linebacker in space, and they would throw the ball per se. So, we've kind of developed a package, to be honest with you, over the years that whether it's 11, 12, or 13, it doesn't matter. We can basically substitute one person and make it all the same, because nowadays it's all about banking reps. Meaning, like, for what you just said, like if you have 11 personnel package and you go to 12 and then 13, then that becomes a lot of different things, right? So how can I make all these packages the same? So we've kind of developed a way that we can basically play one thing with a substitution of a bigger guy as our nickel, but really everything else is the same. I do think it's a good idea to have, 11, 12, and 13, the multiplicities that you get out of it. I think it creates a lot of issues for defenses. And that's one of the reasons we kind of developed our package to where it really doesn't matter, what you do.
Is 12 more the trend in college now? What have you seen?
12 is really the trend. 12 is really the trend in pro football too.
Yeah.
Because you get those guys like, Travis Kelce, even Kyle Pitts, that are really more bigger wide receivers, that they're not really wide outs, but they're bigger body guys. They're not really what you would call the stud tight end. But if they get out in space, okay, they're a mismatch on a linebacker. And then if you reduce them down, they're good enough that they can block or get a stalemate, which a stalemate as a tight end like that is really a win. So, that ends up being the choice. Now, one thing I did study in the offseason, just because it's a trend, is, the Rams last year did a lot of 13 personnel, and they kind of went to it because of injuries at the receiving core, and they led the league in 13. So, football is like everything, man. If something's hot, people are going to get it. It's like a stock. It's like a stock, right? Hey, if it's hot, or a table in blackjack, this table's hot. Everybody's trying to get on it, right? So I did kind of look at that in the off season just to make sure there wasn't anything that we were missing from that perspective. But I do think if you're asking me, I think 12 personnel is the way to go, because you can create so many different personnel groupings and services, and it creates a little bit more stress on the defense with how they're going to match you.
Well, and that's why Tech Fan got excited when Luke Reynolds came in, right? He's a developing tight end, and they're going to play a lot of that, on the offense. So
they should.
You mentioned a guy like Pitts too. You said you could just kind of throw it in the general area. You knew he was going to get to the football.
And Trask got so much. There was one time I think we were playing Ole Miss, and they had 3 guys on the guy, and he still threw it up to him. I'm like, it's weird. I mean, there were 3 guys there. Pitts went up and got it. He was so good. He hasn't quite, for whatever reasons, it hasn't quite been like that in pro football. I still think he's a talented guy, but I think sometimes that can be relative to the quarterback you're around and the system you're in too. But he was a really talented. He was one of the most talented guys, out there. And at one time, we were actually thinking about making him an outside backer, early in the recruiting process. Like, he was that kind of athlete and had that kind of twitch and all that. But, he ended up going, of course, Dan being the head coach, he was going to put him on offense. And we put him over there, and he became a pretty dominant guy. But those are the kind of guys, if you look in the National Football League, because it's so hard to cover skill guys outside. Okay. So what happens is a lot of people play split safety coverage, which means you're going to play with safeties deep. Well, you play with safeties deep, that means you're trying to help your outside corners. Okay. Well, if you're helping them, your underneath guys are one-on-one. So that means guys like Pitts become one-on-one underneath. So the tight ends like Kelce, Pitts, back in the day, Antonio Gates, way back in the day, like Kellen Winslow, back in the day, like all those guys, they end up being one-on-one, because to help them, you're going to have to double them somehow, some way. Well, if you do that, now you're leaving your outside guys one-on-one. So it's kind of like pick your poison. So definitely having athletic tight ends. And I think that's where teams that, I don't want to say like aren't the blue bloods per se, you know what I mean? Because, every position, like skill guys, like there are certain receivers that, okay, this guy's a dude. You know what I mean? Because of his length, like this guy's a guy. But then you're going to get a bundle of guys they're just all guys. And that's really the biggest thing I see from the SEC and the ACC when I was in it, is there were a lot of those good players at receiver. They weren't all necessarily guys, but they were all good players. Whereas up front, D-line wise, there's only so many of those. I mean, God only made so many big people that could run like that. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? Well, those mid-tier guys, the tight ends that are athletic, like we just talked about, those guys, there's an abundance of those guys too, and you can develop those guys. And to me, that's where I think schools that are, say, a notch below the blue bloods, but they want to compete with those guys, that's how you make it up, because you can scheme guys, you can get guys like that, and you can create mismatches and issues for people because not enough people play that way and everything. So, a lot of people like to play the spread where they spread you out and it looks like 3 wides or 4 wides, which, that can create issues at time too. But if you start reducing those blocking surfaces and create 3-man surfaces with a guard, tackle, and a tight end, and then all of a sudden the tight end has a wing, like that ends up that's an issue now that a lot of people don't work on. So anyway, that's how I think you should attack it.
Well, there you go. People loving the education, Coach. Good stuff. See, we got you talking about football even on vacation. See what we did?
Yeah, that stuff's easy though, man. You can do that over beer.
Yeah. He's just sitting there yelling. Oh, well, here you go. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah. What is it? It's about 63 guys you've sent to the NFL, right? That you've coached.
Yeah, it's right at 60.
It's unbelievable.
It's right at 60 guys. So. It's funny. I still get a text from all those, but I'll be honest. The ones I got one the other day from a kid that I coached, Herb Haygood, and Herb actually I recruited out of Sarasota, Florida, to Michigan State. He went to Michigan State and ended up returning a kick to beat Notre Dame, and he played for the Broncos for 3 years.
Yep.
And anyway, he what was funny is he got married. He's got kids now. He sent me he knew. So this is how you get to know kids. He knew I like to fish, right? So in one of his comments, he sent me a picture of him and his son, who's probably a teenager now, like 12, 13, 14. Hey, he was like, I'd like, let me know opportunities come up and all that. I want to get back in, because he had originally coached at Eastern Michigan, then kind of got out of it. He had actually became a head coach for a couple of years at a smaller D2 school, I think. And he was looking to get back in. He goes, you can invite me down to fish your pond and to fish your lake. And he sent me a picture of him and his son, fishing. And cool. You still get those relationships too. And those are just as good as they're great, because if you just look at, and that's what college athletics is all about. If you look at where that kid came from, and, he came from a single mom. She was a great lady. She busted her tail, worked a couple jobs, she had a couple kids, and he went to, it's one of those things. I remember when Herb came to Michigan State in East Lansing, my phone rang at 2 a.m. Of course, when the phone rings at 2 a.m., that's not a good thing, right? Like,
it's true.
I'm like,
you're like, oh no,
like, oh my God, like, okay, somebody's in jail.
How many guys are in trouble?
It ain't good. So it was Herb, and he goes, hey, Coach. He goes, yeah. He goes, hey, I've been thinking. I'm like, okay, it's 2 a.m., but go ahead. He goes, I want to go home. And I go, okay, well, we can talk about it. He goes, no, I want to go home now. I go, dude, it's like 2 a.m. You can't go home now. We'll talk. So anyway, to his mom's credit, we got her on the phone with him, and she's like, you are not coming home. You're staying there. If you come home, you ain't coming in this house. You're staying. So the kid ended up staying. And obviously we got through the homesickness thing and all that, ends up graduating, ends up having a good career. He's living a productive life. But that's really what college sports is about, to create those opportunities. It's not the NIL money and all that. I mean, that's where we've kind of lost our way with all of this stuff. Even with it's interesting, even with listening to the hiring of guys now, like the AD at Virginia Tech, when I saw him hire, like the biggest thing they're talking about is raising money.
Yeah.
Well, eventually that well is going to run dry. What else are you doing besides raising money? What else are you bringing? You know what I'm saying? So everything that the first thing people talk about is raising money. Yeah. Well, I understand it's a part of it. Yeah, it is, but it's also about developing, enhancing a program, developing, enhancing youth, and creating value in people. And that's where we've lost our way with everything that we do. And the dollar sign has become more important than those things. And that's the problem with what we got.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. Well said. Well, brother, thanks for the education, man. Great stuff this morning. I mean, it looks like you're going to struggle for the day. I see that bright sunshine behind you, man.
Yeah, man. It's so hot. It's so hot and humid. Oh, my God. It's so hot and humid nowadays, man. And there's no wind. I mean, like fishing during the you either got to go at like 6:30 right when the sun comes up, or at night. it's just too hot this time of year to fish, and there's no breeze. I'm like, every time I want to go fishing, there's like no breeze. It's just all sweat. I was like, no way I'm fishing in the summertime heat like this. I'm going to, get up early in the morning and go, or go at night or something like that. So, but anyway, I'm going to do a little fishing on our beach trip. We're going to Ballhead Island, which I looked it up. Ballhead Island is probably 2.5 hours south of you. When you were at Emerald Isle. So it's kind of 2.5 hours south. It's like right above like Sunset Beach and that kind of thing. And awesome spot. You got to take a ferry over these houses. It's golf carts only. So that's pretty cool. Your house is on a beach, it's beach houses, and you can go down. You really got your own beach per se, because like the only people on the island are people that are renting the houses there.
Right.
And you can fish there. And there's some backwaters you can fish. So all of that stuff's pretty cool. So I'm going to do that for a week, and I'll come back, and then I'll start figuring out that 12 and 13 personnel you talked about.
Oh, it's great stuff. Great stuff. Well, brother, enjoy. You've earned the time off, my friend, and keep us posted. Love the picture. You showed me this nice video out on the boat, man. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool at night, man. I mean, it's pretty cool. There's a Ritz right by here. Really, that's one of the reasons I ended up buying this place back in like 2007, the lot. I built my own house, but like, I'm like, okay, there's a Ritz 2 coves down from me. This place isn't going anywhere. It's going to be fine. The Ritz isn't going anywhere. So there's a Ritz Carlton right there, about 2 coves, up from me. And it's pretty cool. So I enjoy it a lot. We enjoy it.
Well, like I say, you've earned it. And thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you during vacation week, man. It's good stuff.
No problem. No problem.
Good stuff. All right, brother. Take care of yourself, man. Stay safe. All right, man. Be good.
Bye-bye.
All right. Todd Grantham from the beach house. How cool was that? Man, how about that? Just sitting there like a sponge like me, listening to him break down. What I love, too, we throw those questions at him. He's just like, well, this is what you do. This is what we do to handle all those looks. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's 61 dudes that have coached, that have played under him, that have been in the National Football League. Wow. I don't know about you, but, other than, Tech, I'm pulling like hell for UAB, right? I hope UAB just kicks ass. I'd love to see them take it. Wouldn't that be great? Because we think, we're going to see the progression in Tech's program. Wouldn't it be great to see UAB just that opening night against Illinois? We're sitting there watching, first week on a Thursday night, and we're heading to the fourth quarter, and it's tied at 20. Just that would just be, go Blazers. Go Hokies. Go Blazers. How cool was that? I'm jealous you guys got to play for Joel Hicks. I'm telling you, man. It was the most important thing as a young boy, young person growing up, playing football, getting to that level. Okay, it's my time now to go to high school. Am I going to make it? If you made it in that and when I got called in, I remember that there was always 5 sophomores that made travel team. I never once expected to make travel team. And the first 4 had been announced, and I was, putting my stuff away. I just showered. And then as I'm coming out, they send out one of the assistants, and, hey, Rick, Coach wants to see you. He and Coach Flincham want to see you in the office. And I can't even tell you what I was thinking. I'm thinking, oh, God, I'm out of here. Or did I screw up? And then they put on practice tape, VHS practice tape, showing me how I looked. I guess it was one of the first times I ever saw myself. And I'm like, oh, but they would show me getting knocked on my ass and what I was doing wrong. But I'd always get back right in there, right back in there, man. And then you saw the seniors like Todd hit me on top of the helmet, and they told me I made travel. I'll never forget. I don't know if my feet touched the ground when I left Coach's office and shook Coach Flincham and Coach Hicks' hand, walking out of the field house. I don't know if my feet even touched the ground. I was just so ecstatic. It was the biggest honor of my young life at that time. It was. Good stuff. Low Country says, I was listening to that, and now I have to hit the over on 3.5 wins. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got a really good coaching staff. Coach Mortensen has got a lot of respect around. Well, he's a Nick Saban guy. Todd's Nick Saban guy. So if you look, Prometheus says, if you're like me, you looked at the guys a few years older than you, like NFL. Yeah, you did. You looked at them 100%. That's a great way to describe it. You looked at them as like, those are your heroes on the gridiron. There's no question. No question. Coach Hicks was as tough as any human being that's ever been involved in my life. But yes, you loved and he cared so much about us. Coach Brian Oliver says, I met Coach Hicks once my senior year at the cancer lift in Radford. He came up after a press 350. So cool to meet the legend. Yeah, he tough. And there were days you wanted to walk out. And then you'd have coaches go, Rick, if he wasn't coaching you, then that means he doesn't think you're worth anything. If he's coaching you, he knows you're going to help at some point. And I don't know if I ever had an impact. I caused a couple of turnovers. I remember causing a deflected interception and getting in on the quarterback on delayed blitz. And I was a really good special teams guy. But yeah. And we were midway through it. Oh, because you're on the scout team too. When you're sophomore and you're playing up at the varsity, I mean, you do whatever they tell you to do, and you don't mind it. You're just part of it. And I was always the scout team, and I could run a little bit. I was a linebacker in the center, but they put me out, and I was lined up as like a slot receiver, and I don't remember who we were playing. It's PH or Salem. It wasn't Salem. It was Fleming or PH or K. I don't know, one of those two. And I remember he was like, he had the diagram up because he was always in charge of the scout team. He wanted the scout team to beat the Todd Grantham starting deep. Like he always took pride in it. And Rick, you're here. Rick, you're going to play. You're going to be so-and-so here in the slot. Now, what we need you to do, we need you to go out. You got a crack back, but you're faking that. And we want you to run a banana. And I guess he looked back and saw me because I think the look on my face was, what? He goes, you don't know what the hell I just said. I'll never forget it. And everybody in the huddle laughed. He laughed. And then he threw down the clipboard, and he's got his whistle back behind his neck. He didn't wear a hat. And he's showing me what he wanted me to do on the look to give the DBs the best look. Never forget it. You never forget it. It's part of who you are your entire life. Yeah, Alan Wheeling, yeah. You better believe it, Low Country. Terrific quarterback for the Burgundy and Gold. Absolutely. Yeah, Coach Hicks, Willis White, Coach Lindenberg. You name it. Coach Ragsdale, Winthrop Beal. Just great people. Coach Chris, banana in the tailpipe. Well, the banana was supposed to, and then you were supposed to make it look like a banana, right? And I guess I knew that, but I think I got lost in the the fake I was supposed to be carrying out. What? I'm not a receiver. Text message on the Professional Door text line. Brother, I'm going to tell you one more time about what Professional Door is doing here in the month of July, starting today. Do not hesitate. Get scheduled ASAP, because if you just schedule your garage door preventative maintenance during this month, right off the top, $40 you're taking off if you tell them you heard us talking about it here on BDST. It can happen in August, September, doesn't matter when it happens, but you can get the 40% off. So do not hesitate. 674-0008. 674-0008. That number again is 540-674-0008. And you'll get a chance to meet Travis. Terrific person, his staff. They do a great job. But the one time that stands out for me too, Coach Hicks, you have one moment you remember. Somebody was just asking me about, was his intensity always? Yeah, but he knew how to handle different personalities. Yeah, $40, not 40%, $40 off. Travis is like, what the hell? $40 right off the top if you do it in July, mentioning the show. And I remember we were sitting around, this was Salem week, and this is for the district championship, and they were undefeated. And we were all sitting around going out for practice. And I remember we were always like, what are we doing? Why are we sitting around? And he comes around the corner, and everybody knows if you saw Coach Hicks, that jaw would get clenched. And he came in, he walked up between us, and we're all just sitting there thinking, uh-oh, what do we do? First thought you always had was, what do we do? And he has his clipboard, which he was famous, slammed it down on the table next to the projector. He looked at us, man, we've got it figured out. We are going to beat Salem's ass. And you talk about a group of guys, young guys who were I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. So he went through the film. He showed us some things he had noticed that nobody had tried and something that its staff had picked up on, just scouting them. And we implemented a few changes here defensively. We did some different things with our splits on the offensive line. I think we ran for 250 yards, beat the hell out of them, shut them down. And at that point, when you're walking in as your district champions, you're thinking, God himself sits in that office, right? The football, right? That's the kind of presence that he had. Coach Elmo, you know what I'm talking about. Coach Elmo was exactly the same way. By the way, I'm writing my piece this week in the Patriot on Coach Elmo. By the way, look, he's got his UAB Blazers shirt on his pick. Yeah, you didn't go near Coach on Fridays. Yeah. No. Mm-mm. No. No, that's right, Patrick. No, he's Coach. Never once in my life that I referred to him as Joel. No, he's Coach Hicks. He's been gone too many years now, but he's Coach Hicks. Yep. Oh, look at Prometheus. I was lucky enough to make the front page of the sports section twice my senior year. Looking back, oh, I know. It is, man. Wouldn't trade it for the world. It shapes what you become later. We've talked about this a lot, those men, and what Steve Ragsdale is the same way. Yeah, absolutely. Great memories, man. Great memories. The good stuff today, as always. Tomorrow, we'll have the show, and then I'm going to do Pop again on Thursday night. Now, I might start a little earlier than 7. We'll see. So make your plans to be there. So it'll be a busy day tomorrow here on the program. the morning and then the evening. That's okay. Here on the channel, I should say. Yeah, TP, you're right. You remember. One of the things that it brought me, looking back now too, when I started full-time at Radford, Coach ran all the time up until he couldn't anymore. His physical conditioning, he was winning marathons up in his 60s, early 70s. I mean, he was unreal running marathons. And he had always run by Deadman. He had his group. He had his running group. TP, you know. And one day he invited me to run with him. And I thought, yeah, that's when I was running. That's when I found this guy over here, Creed. Well, it was a little bit before that, but I was still running. You can't see him, but he's sacked out over here. Yeah, I'll get in there. Yeah, I'll meet you down there, Coach. I'll be there. Sure enough, there I was that Saturday morning. I don't think I saw Coach very much after we got started and went about half a mile because he had disappeared. He and somebody, I'm like, what do we do? What am I doing? We can't run with this guy. I think I ran 3 or 4 miles. I realized, okay, this was probably, you talk about biting off more than you could chew. Making the travel team was harder than this. I mean, it was easier than this. Amazing. Thanks, Coach. Amazing. But anyway, good stuff today. Thanks to Keon. Great to see him and his bright, shining face every day. Keon's just makes you feel great with that big smile every day. Great sense of humor, man. He incorporates it in his broadcasting too, man. He does a great job. Damian Sordelette, nice to see his bright, shining face after getting back from vacation. Cut short, obviously, with the AD announcement, but hey, he still looked okay other than being frustrated with his golf game. And Todd Grandin was really shining out there in the sunlight. Man, what an education we got. I mean, I just throw out a question about personnel, and we got school. We got taken to class, didn't we? Wow. That was cool. Very cool. So now you know the thought process. Virginia Tech's going to run a heck of a lot of 12. And they're going to put that Reynolds kid in every situation. And I'm telling you, man, teams are going to sit there midway through the season and go, what are we going to do about Grunkenmeyer and Reynolds? I can see that. Well, if we focus on that, what are we going to just what Todd was saying? Now you have to worry, right? I mean, the potential's there for that offense to really, really be dynamic. I really believe that. I would love that, Prometheus. Now, Keon's an analyst. But, yeah, I would. Yeah, if he ever came back, and, yeah, I would love that, man. That'd be great. That'd be great. All right. You all were great again. Thank you so much in chat. Thanks, everybody, on the professional door text line. Remember, reach out to them, 674-0008. $40 off your preventative maintenance. Mention that you heard us talking about it. You're down. You schedule it however it works for you and for them, and then you got your discount. And thanks to all of our guests. We'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition, everybody. Enjoy your hump day. Stay cool out there. If you have to be outside, pace yourself. Sounding like my mom now, but lots of fluids. And coach and all the coaches and Chad Hyatt, our trainer, lots of fluids. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Take care.